Good evening, my friends. Good evening. This evening, we have received some assistance with some of the technicalities, and we do have our guest. She'll be live with us this evening, Michelle Ferguson, the author of A Love Like Ours, will be sharing. And before we invite her to join us on screen, I just want to remind us that it is said that a happy marriage is a union of two good forgivers. And this is a phrase coined by Robert Quillen. I don't think it could be said that there's a bad forgiver. So it's a happy marriage is based on the union of two forgivers because it's either we forgive or we don't. So this evening we'll be joined with Michelle Ferguson. And last week she was adding some anecdotes and sharing some things, but we chose to have her live on camera with her face and her own voice, with her French accent. So that may come in at times, but we want her to share her story and the reason behind writing her book entitled A Love Like Ours. At any time, you'll see her face appearing. So here
You
you
know that.
have the wonderful Michelle Ferguson. Hi, Michelle. How are you today?
Hi, Sherry. Good evening. Finally, with it. Thanks to your friend for helping setting this up. I appreciate it much.
Thank you. We have to say thanks to Leo Hall.
Thanks,
He
Leo.
is a childhood friend, and I've been asking him for his assistance. So he will be helping us until we get our feet on the ground.
Thank
How are
you.
you doing, Michelle? How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. And I had a nice, relaxing weekend, and we're, grateful for another day, and grateful to be finally able to see you and talk to you. Right.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
how are you doing, Sherry?
I am doing wonderful. I had a busy weekend, but it was good busy.
That's good. Yeah.
It was sharing in a wedding and sharing in another entrepreneur's anniversary celebration and just a time of gratitude and thanksgiving. Thank you
That's
for
important.
asking. May you just greet our viewers in French for us.
OK, donc, c'est bonsoir, bonsoir tout le monde. En France, je pense que c'est triple tout, so bonjour.
Whatever you said, it sounds good. All right, what I want to ask you this evening, though, Michelle, what is it that inspired you and caused you to write the book? And I want you to just tell us, I don't want you to tell us the book because persons need to
Yeah,
purchase and
thank
read the book.
yeah. So, what really inspires me to write the book is that when we were at the hospital, because as you know, there's only 6 months difference between Jerry's diagnosis and mine. And
Just to interrupt you, for those who didn't hear last week the background to your experience, could you
Okay,
just
so
tell
let
me?
me just, yeah. So Jerry and I were diagnosed 6 months apart with cancer, and Jerry had stage 4 esophageal cancer with brain mets, and that was in February 2019. And in July of 2019, I was diagnosed with stage 1A breast cancer. So the month of July, the entire year of July, except 1 month, we were in and out of the hospital. And we met nurse practitioners, we met oncologists, doctors, surgeons, and blah blah blah. And I just said, like, you know what, you guys are really, despite of all this adversity, you are still so smiling and so grateful, and why won't you just write a book? But Jerry always wanted to write a book, like, about his story when he was in the army and everything. He had all these journals. And then he said, and then, when we were having this adult come to Jesus conversation about our sister, think, like, you know what, we should share our stories, because um I mean, what are the odds of couples being diagnosed 6 months apart? And if we could, because cancer, unfortunately or fortunate, whichever you look at it, always has this negative meaning, right? But Jerry and I really choose cancer to be our friend, meaning in a sense that we didn't let it take the best out of us, but we use this to really more spend quality time with each other, and really prepare us for what lies ahead or what's the next, right? So And we want to share that you could still live a life, you could still have this life with gratitude, you could still continue to travel, with a little bit of restrictions now and then, but you still can. That once you're diagnosed with cancer, it's not just going to the hospital, radiation, surgery, and everything. You could still have a life. So that's what we want to share, that life, to continue living and to inspire others, and to spread the love and to spread sparkles in the world.
Beautiful. So you're reminding and informing some that adversity, sometimes an adversity can be a good thing based on how you look at it.
Yes, it's always about perspective and how you look at it, right? There's always, I play piano, and there's in the piano there's white and black chord, right? But
Keys.
together they play music perfectly. Ironically, I'm wearing black and white. So no, but
Exactly.
it's really the same parallel, that you and focus on that one, and it's really hard. Believe me, it's not like a walk in the park, but the faith and the friends and the love is really what makes me, and what makes us at that time really look at it in the positive way. Because they always is saying, like, hate begets hate, right? Love begets love. So why would you focus on something that will only add more stress? You already are cancer patient now. Stress is not good for you.
Very good.
Yeah.
What I want to ask you too, Michelle, because what I admired about you when I met you is not just your laughter, but is your joy. Because some of us, we can laugh and we still mask pain and try to deceptive. But you have that infectious laughter, which is just authentic.
Oh,
What is it that gives you that inner peace, that joy? What is it that you tap into that causes you to remain in that? Because we have
okay.
something in common.
Thank you, sure. And I really, it's really being present, and I practice daily gratitude. I start and end my day with gratitude. I do meditate, and this is the techniques on. And I used to have, my friend and I, we used to have this daily practice gratitude together. And unfortunately we have to hold it for now, so it's not no longer daily, but live before in YouTube channel. But what I said is, my every morning I write down and post it, like, what am I grateful for? And along the way, because life can throw us curveballs, right? The 8 hours or 10 hours that you are at the office, or 1 hour that you're at the grocery, or 2 hours depending on what time of day, there will be curveballs. And when I'm that a little stressed, or when I'm not like aligned with my positivity, I actually take that post-it and read it out loud, even if I'm in the car, and then it reminded me that life is beautiful if you just really have to look at it. It's how you look at it.
Agree.
Yeah.
One of the things I use to guard my thoughts and my actions is
Yeah, because they're
I'm
saying, like, guard your thoughts becomes your words becomes your reality.
exactly. So what I practice when I have an experience, because we all have experiences, I don't call it a problem. It's an experience, and I chose to define it problem or something joyful. The question I ask myself is, and sometimes I call myself, I said, fool, if you react, is it going to help you?
Yeah.
What about responding? So I
Yeah.
try to ask myself, because the Bible tells us that a fool said there's no God. So when I react, I'm behaving like I don't know a God. So I call myself a fool.
No.
I ask that question. Are you going to react? Are you going to respond?
Yeah.
And the few times when I react, I feel terrible
Mm-hmm.
because I cause myself to lose it and did make a good decision. So I've practiced, like you've said, practice mindfulness. I've also, thank you, Annette. Annette is saying your story is powerful. I
Oh, thank
also
you.
ask myself, is this going to help you or is going to hurt you?
Yeah.
Simple. So if you choose mindfulness and you do, hi Frida, thank you for reminding us to maintain good spirit. We have to choose. And you mentioned that your husband was ailing, so were you.
Yeah.
And thought about, cancer is always a scare. Sometimes our reaction is what causes us to mess up a good situation.
Mm-hmm.
I want you, before we won't send you off, you can still be there, but before you leave us, tell us where we can find your book and why you want persons to purchase this book, whether you're married or not.
Okay. So the book right now is available at Amazon.com. So if you Google a love like, if you have an Amazon account, you go to search a love like ours, a memoir, Michelle Ferguson. You will find me there. It's available both in three version. You could get the electronic version, the the paper bound, and then also the hard copy. So why? So this is my why. Why I'm sharing my story and what's the root cause behind it. So my thing is that as with Jerry and I don't have kids, and we always talk about, where we are right now because someone helped us, someone helped me, and we want to do it, pay it forward. In my journey, in my journey being a cancer patient, a caregiver to my husband, taking care of him and handling all the finances and all the medical stuff, I encountered a lot of challenges that I know that I could be able to help other people, other individuals that are facing or has been in the same situation as me. So what I'm alluding to this one because what I really would like to create or found it's to create an organization or a nonprofit in honor of Jerry. It's gonna be called Fergie Strong, and within that is whatever the process of the book and some of the help of my friends, that I'll be able to create a safety place for the caregivers, to talk about how they feel, to have like more of a coaching, and also to share the experiences that I have when I was undergoing through all this insurance stuff and medical stuff, that hopefully my story, our story, would inspire others that first will that help will prevent them from medical bankruptcy if they can prevent it. And the other thing also, which you're not, because I'm really mindful with the finance as well, but also to seek to look at cancer in a different way. I mean, it really sucks, there's no sugar coating about it. We acknowledge that. And so it's not that I'm being Cher was saying that I'm positive and everything. Yes, that's me, but I do have there's also it's not that I don't look at negativity. I look at negativity and then I acknowledge it and move on. So I'm hoping that our story and the foundation that I'm going to create will help individuals facing cancer, couples that are facing cancer, hopefully not many of us, and share the stories and help each other, and because we are all in this together at any shape or form.
Beautiful. I'll just read one of the reviews of one of the persons who have read your book. Just
Oh,
one. There's one person who read it in June, they purchased in June 19, 2023.
yeah.
Michelle, I read your book in mere hours, sometimes with tears and sadness, other times with smiles and laughter. I am in awe of you both and how you battled and lived through both of your struggles and having those tough but necessary conversations. And those who are viewing, you can see it on the screen. Thanks to our technical director,
Thank you, Leo.
Master Leo Hall. Thank you. And Michelle, before you go, I want you to tell our listeners what you do and where you can be found with your business as now.
Okay. I could only per compliance. I just have to declare this one. Per compliance, I work as a financial advisor. I'm with Edward Jones. And I have an office in Hyannis. And also, I'm the author. I'm doing coaching. But that's my main job. I'm a financial advisor, and I help individuals with their financial goals.
And who doesn't need that now? One
Yeah.
of the things I can say, and this is off the record, but for the record, there's a good friend that is mutual to us. I know she always say when she plans to make a financial decision, you'd ask her, was it
Is
in
it
the
in the
budget?
budget?
Is it in the budget? So Marie, we are mentioning you, we're telling your business. You have helped Marie in that she is cautious about how she spends her money. And I really want to thank you for sharing your life, your and Jerry's life. I did notice on Facebook today that there's a memory you shared 5 years ago,
Yes.
August 21, and it's a beautiful picture. It embodies love and patience. And your book also showed that you did have a long and lasting love, the one that says,
Yeah.
"Till
Yeah.
death do us
Yeah,
part."
and he's always gonna be with me, guiding me, supporting me in all my endeavors.
Please enjoy the memories and savor the moments because even though he's not here, but the memories are something we can always
Yeah,
cherish. I truly
exactly.
want to thank you for taking
Thank you
time.
so much, Sherry. Have a great. I don't know how to get me out of this, so you help me get out.
Leah will take care of that because we're going to continue for a few more minutes.
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
to thank you.
Thank you.
Again, we want to thank Michelle for joining us. Leo will take care of that. So
Okay. Okay. I
we
will try.
had Michelle sharing with us, and she reminded us, or is reminding us, that there are still love that lasts till death do us part. Let us therefore then, those of us who are married, planning to get married, or are in a struggling marriage relationship, ask yourself the question, why did I get into this? And examine your why. Also, while you're examining your whys, look at the actions that you are putting forth now. Both of you, this has to be a concerted effort. Let us examine what we're doing and remember whether it was 1 year ago, 2 years, however long you have been married. How have you watered that relationship? What are the things that you say to and do to each other? What do you spend time with and for one another? How do you be intentional about making choices in keeping that flame that you had? I also thought on Saturday I was getting ready to go to a wedding, and I looked at how much planning goes on with most wedding from the day two persons decide to go before God and their friends and make this commitment and through this vow about the planning, the preparation, the flowers, the bouquet, the reception area, all the intricacies that went through. However, selfishly, prematurely, immaturely, in a minute or just a second, one person or both person might just say, you know what, I don't want this anymore. Did you really plan on getting married? Because this is not for the faint of heart. This is not for those who are in selfish pursuit or just want to put on a show. If that were the case, you could have gone to the circus and just performed that. And I always say, if you're looking at a toy to play with, you could have gone to Walmart, you could have gone to the store closest to you and buy a toy. No, you have made the vows. You have gone through counseling, I would hope. You have sought help personally, individually, examine yourself before God and man, or you should have. Just in case you didn't, it's not too late. Divorce doesn't have to be the option. You still can go back to the drawing board. Admit it where you are, right where you are. We have messed up, we have gone to the wrong path. Let's come back together, inviting God through your faith and ask Him to help you to choose a path that's going to enhance a wholesome relationship. The last thing you want to do when there's trouble at home is go outside to seek unprofessional help. Because if you go to a single person for counseling, you are wrong for that. No experience with marriage doesn't want to see persons married. You're going to the wrong place. If you go to the wrong bar, that's a very wrong place too. Sometimes it depends on who you go to at church. Don't go to church, go to God. Go to the one who has the blueprint for your life and for marriage. Ask Him to help you to make the right decision. Because when you get married, you invited a whole lot of friends and family to share with you. If you choose to divorce, you need to call those people out of respect. And I've said it before, and I'm not joking. If you choose that you want a divorce, call all you had invited and give them back the money that they spent to attend that wedding, and give them the reason you want a divorce, because they were your witnesses. They were equally a part of that day. Some among us, I won't say some of us because not me, some among us are taking this God-given gift for granted and playing around with other person's feelings. And it's worse when we have children involved. I don't want persons to remain in marriage for the sake of the children. Those children are going to grow up God's willing and God give them grace, they're going to grow up and leave. So if we are in it for the children, when they leave, what is going to happen? Marriages still can be beautiful, they still can be wholesome, but it has to be the effort of both parties involved. Don't run to your mother. Don't run to your father. Don't run to your in laws either. You want to run back to the one who has the blueprint for marriages, love, and relationship, because that's where it all begins. You got to love yourself. You got to put God first, and you got to really want to see the other person happy. Am I perfect? No. Is my husband perfect? No. And because neither of us is perfect, let's start looking at ourselves. Let's start looking at our imperfections and see how best we can meet the other person and build a beautiful relationship. Make your marriage the model marriage for you, because Annette and Leo's marriage, it might be an example to me, but it shouldn't be the role model. I should be the role model for my marriage, my husband and I. Let us really think of it. If love is really long lasting, it is a person, it requires you and I, the persons who are involved, to make it happen. As Michelle shared with us, her husband's illness, sure, it was tragic, it was hard to deal with, but she stuck with it because she made a vow, she made a commitment, and she kept it going. I want us to start looking at what we say to our spouses, how we speak to them. I think I've mentioned it before that sometimes just the way you answer your spouse on the phone, because you know it's your spouse, you take it for granted. But you don't know if that's the last time you'll get a call. Don't take anything for granted. Not even the refrigerator you purchase has guarantee anymore. So let us treasure the moment. If you get a call, answer as if you were just dating. Even if you have been married for 40, 20, 50 years, whatever the number is not important. But the moments that we create are important. Love should be long and lasting with respect, taking nothing for granted. When we do get upset and we think that we should tell the person unkind words, remember that's the same person you vowed to. When we got dressed up with all those bouquets and persons walking and holding trail and taking pictures, that's the same person. But the dynamics of life is going there are going to be shifts. Emotions are going to shift and change, but our vows and our love should remain intact. Yes, Annette, ouch. Sometimes the human comes, and it's okay to say, you know what, it's not a good time to have that conversation. Let's talk about that another time. As I said, I like to use a little pointing finger. You know what, not a good time. Let's do it another time. If we start and the conversation seems to be getting heated, you know what, let's not do that right now. But we all can be boiling at the same time. If it's going to be boiling, let it be in the bedroom. Let us take responsibility for our actions. Our children are watching and they're also listening. Thank you, Frida. Our children are listening and watching. Hi, Novlet. And also, your life counts. Always say to my husband, I'm not in impressing anyone. I don't want to be an impressionist. I want to be a realist and live the moments. So if it were the last moment that we had to share, I don't have to live with too many regrets, or he shouldn't have to live with, he should have, could have, would have, I wish I had. No, let it be said that I did my best, and the last conversation we had, it was peaceful. When you have conversations, as you will have uncomfortable ones, have them with civility and respect. Use the I feel, I don't like, I would appreciate. Tell you're talking about yourself because that's what you want. And equally allow your spouse to express his or her feeling, what is the feeling, what they don't like, and try to make some compromise. Try to meet each other as close as is possible to mutuality. Life can be beautiful, but until the persons who are involved come to that realization, it's going to be antagonistic. And nobody wins, nobody hurts. Let's talk, pray, laugh, share pleasant moments so that if and when our teeth are all gone and the pronunciations are not clear, we know what true love was, because that's what should keep us together. Let us place less emphasis on the material things in life because that can depreciate in a whip. Let us treasure our human resources, you and I. I'm going to leave you with peace because that's all I have. I want to thank you for joining us on this platform. And I want to ensure my listeners who I didn't see much this evening, those who will catch it on the replay, I trust you'll find something from this. It's not just for married people, it's for human beings on a whole. Let us try to be civil. Let us try to be civil. Let us have conversations. Some are going to be uncomfortable, but they are worth having because they show that we are thinking and our thoughts are different, but we do mean well for each other. Have a blessed night. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Annette. God's peace.